that we got football players, talented football players, and they're made of the right stuff, and then they come together. That there's a collective willpower that I think they can use together, and I really felt like we pulled on each other today and really played some of our best ball up to date. That was satisfying always to get a win in this league because they're hard to come by. But when you feel like you play up to your potential in all areas, it's a really good feeling. So it was outstanding effort by a ton of people, a ton of players. Coaches did a great job having them ready. We were proud of that win last week. That was hard fought, but we also wanted to get that bad taste out of our mouth, and we did that today. So it's outstanding. Questions?
What about the performance of Jared? 5 interceptions last week. We talked about never lost his confidence or anything like that, but coming to this game with 7 straight possessions with a touch shot, 158.3 rating, just his performance saying how many.
Yeah, he's once again, he continues to play at a high level, and it's, I mentioned this just a minute ago. There's a ton of things I appreciate about him, but one of them is that, whatever it was or wasn't last week, and I said this, he didn't play a bad game. The circumstances of what went down were just, it was bizarre. But I know for him, it's like, look, whatever it is or isn't, I'm going to play better. And he was locked in like he's been, and you just had that feeling, man. Offense collectively was, we were going to be, I just felt like we were going to be a good place, and credit to the coaches. But those guys, they took ownership in it, and they wanted to finish better collectively, finish down the field and make plays and be productive, be efficient, and we did that. But I thought Goff was outstanding once again. And so no, I'm not surprised. That's the type of player we have, and that's the type of football he's been playing for a while now. So he's a stud.
And did you guys almost play angry? It looked like there was a purpose to everything of it.
Oh, well, I think we really, there was so much of the focus was about we wanted to make sure we established an aggressive style, our aggressive style of football, man, and we really wanted to finish. And so much of it was about, it was really the focus above anything else was about our effort. Just finishing, man. I want you to be able to turn the tape on and your teammate to watch the play that you're doing and say, man, that guy is finishing for me. Man, I trust that guy. And that was kind of the message is, man, finish for the guy next to you and give everything you've got. And if we can all look at each other tomorrow in the eyes and say, I gave you what I had, that's always going to be a good thing. And they did that.
Did you talk about how you make your mind up, Dan, about when to take key players out? You're out 35-6, you're 42-6, Jared's still in here, some other key offensive guys are in here. How do you weigh injury?
There's nothing easy about it. This is this is another one of those bizarre things that you're running into. Normally this doesn't happen. This is like the 3rd time this has come up this season, which, it's a good problem to have. But I think so much there's a number of things. And I think you want to know that you finish on a good note. You found a rhythm. You keep the rhythm. Okay, now the time says, let's get them out. What's hard is you're playing pretty good, and then you take this dip, and then it starts to taste bad. Okay, now we pull them out because we don't get anybody hurt, and then does that bleed into the next week? And you're playing. So some of those come in, and I think you just got to feel it out. And that last one, I told those guys, after the last touchdown we had, I don't know what it was, 13 minutes left, let's get them out. We played pretty good. We finished on a high note, touchdown. Defensively, we got to stop, and we started pulling guys. And so you got to make the most of it. And there again, even at the end, you pull St. Brown out. We started to lose, A-Rob gets hurt, but he's back. We didn't want to use Brock in there. We had to use Brock again, and so you start playing this. This is, you got to do what you got to do to finish the game out. And you can only worry so much about it. And even there, it's like you'd love to get Sewell out, but we only have 3 linemen at the game in a reserve. And, you take out your oldest guys, your most veteran guys. or the guys who have, maybe are dinged up a little bit, but you do the best you can with it.
And Ben said earlier this week he wanted the Dolphins to get back to its dominant ways, confident they could get there. I mean, were you at the point where you run out of game balls to hand out in that room? Is it safe to say they're back to the dominant ways?
Yeah, I would say that, look, everybody on offense is going to get a game ball for that. I mean, that was, you get over 600 yards of offense, and you're whatever that was, 5 and 5 in the red zone. Third down was outstanding. I don't know how many explosives we had, but we had a ton. And then the first downs, 30-something first downs. I mean, that's a collective effort. That takes a lot of guys to be able to do that. But we have, we got power up front, with our old line, and we got some serious juice in the backfield and the perimeter, and we got the right balance of, electricity and just whatever you want to call it, man. Sledgehammer. I don't know.
What about the defense? What about the defense? So 6 points.
Yeah. 170 yards, too, only given up. Got our takeaway. We were talking about getting our takeaway. Kirby got us one, which is great, man. That kind of finished it out for us. Stopped the run. And so I'm telling you, it was just a collective effort. Everybody did their job, and when you're able to, get a stop on defense, score 7, get another stop, score 7, you put a tremendous amount of pressure on the opponent, and you put them in a place they don't want to be in. That's hard, It's hard. Let me say this too. Let me go back to that, because here's what I want to, man, I do not want to let the fear of injury take away from our identity. That'll always be most important to me. More so, the minute you start worrying about injuries, that's when bad things happen. So that's I'll finish with that. It was on my mind. Yeah.
You mentioned this is kind of rare. I mean, third time really you played backwards for essentially a quarter in the regular season. You guys are hanging teams and scoring 20, so kind of unprecedented pace, at least around here. When you look at some of the best offenses in NFL history, I don't know who you consider it, the greatest show on turf or whatever. Can you put some historical perspective to this team? Do you think this offense is that good?
I think we have that ability. I really do. I think we have that ability. We have, to me, we have everything that we need to be potent. And like I say, I feel like we're well-rounded. When you're able to run the ball with the big boys up front, and you got a hammer like David, and you got electricity with Gibbs, and you got J-Mo on the perimeter, and then you've got our rock, St. Brown, who, just continues to make plays. You put him anywhere you want to put him, and you need it, he's got it. And then running the whole show is golf. I think we're, I think we can be dangerous. We have that ability. Because really, we can play the game any way we need to. As long as we're on our stuff, we're on our game, and we're locked in, and we're finishing, and we're, we can do that.
And what's got you, the times that you haven't been able to do that, what sort of got you off that, mark where you haven't been able to do that? You've done it so many times. Is there a secret sauce to this, I guess?
No, look, I think sometimes it can come up to matchups. You do the best you can with the matchups you have, right? And you get in a bad spot with somebody on third down, and all of a sudden they get pressure on the quarterback, or we thought this guy could beat press. He got hemmed up. It's an incompletion, or golf just maybe happened to miss it, which doesn't happen much. And then you had to punt it, and then what happened did we give up a touchdown on defense? You get one of those where all of a sudden you're down, and things happen in this league. They do. Or what happened last week we get a ball batted. It's an interception. So those things are always going to be there. It's about overcoming them. But when we do things right, and everybody's doing their job and doing it at the highest level they can do it, and I'm talking about coaches and players, I think we're difficult to stop collectively. Offense, defense, special teams. I think we're a tough team.
Just that you said coming out that we played some of our best football to date. Can you clarify that? Would you go so far to say, is this the best performance you've seen from your team since you've been?
Yeah, probably so. For this year, for sure.
What about the total of your time here?
It's tough to say. I don't know what it was. We played pretty good 2 years ago against Jacksonville here. I don't know what that was, but But yeah, I mean, probably top to bottom, this is probably the best game. I mean, offense, defense, special teams, everything. That was pretty good, man. We did what we needed to do on both sides of the ball. No, he's not. It's like he broke the forearm, so he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks.